Finally come. Didn't think it was going to get here, but we have an MVP of Michello. Currently put it on my server. This is, and we're testing it, and this is a fresh install of Umbraco. The only thing I've done is added a product element type. So what we're going to do is just run through and install some seed data. First things first, let's get Michello open. There we go. Now, let me get this kicked off. This seed data is actually a lot more than seed data. It does a lot of things like battle tests by architecture, does some concurrency while it's installing all the data. It's using all the services, all the notifications, everything like a front end site would use to get the data in. So it's actually real data. So it takes a while to kick in. So I'm just going to set that off and then we'll talk about Michello quickly. This is likely to be, let me start it first. This is going to be quite a long video, I think, especially because there's so much to go through, and I'm trying desperately to keep it as short as I can. But I'm going to have to go through everything as I can, everything and all the sections as best I can. Michello is obviously opinionated, completely different to Umbraco commerce, so it's more Shopify-esque. You have products and you have a checkout that are rendered in the front end and built into the package. So, for example, the checkout is integrated very much like Shopify, and the products are done by content finders and are rendered as well. But it's still, I'm going to enable those in the app settings to be disabled. So you could run it headless, and it will come with an API at some point. Obviously, this is just an MVP. It's on the server. We're testing it. There's no way I'm going to be able to find all the issues and bugs. I can't possibly test everything, even with my staff. It's very big. But obviously, all I can do is get it to the best point we can get it to, and then we're going to try and run a live store with it. I'm not sure at what point I'm going to put it as an open source project, but it will go open source. I'm not sure when that will be. I'm guessing in a few weeks at minimum. Right, very quick. I'm just going to go over the back end, and then in another video we'll go over the front end to show the checkout, because this video will just get too long. I am going to speed up my talking. I apologize if I mumble, bumble, or whatever it is through this, because I am trying to get a lot of information out very quickly, so this doesn't become a really boring, long, slogged out video. So we're just going to start at the top level. Obviously, orders. These are orders that have been created by the seed data. They are actually orders. As you can see, we can have multi-currency. It will accept it, and we can have a base currency. That we have an absolutely enormous list of settings that are currently in the app settings at the minute. There's things like the base currency, base country. This is obviously set to US as the base currency, but you can still take multi-currency in the front end. And the actual example site that I've created, it has multi-currency switch. So for example, here's just, sorry, I keep saying for example. We have export. We can export all our orders. We can create a new order, pick an existing customers. And then what we can do is, if I come into here, you can obviously, if I edit an order, this is the same UI when you create it. You can add a product from existing products with the options and add-ons, which we'll go through in a second. You can have custom items, again, with lots of features, and you can choose discounts that are already there, or create manual discounts. There's tons of customization with this, especially where you've got discounts where you can actually discount per line item. You can do so much. Anyway, you can see this is in Canadian dollars because this is what this order was submitted in. But obviously, it does keep the actual the store balance in the correct currency, because you're going to need that for reporting, also for things like statistics and analytics, etc. Orders can be, invoices can be in many orders because we have many warehouses. So we could have a supplier who has many warehouses, and those warehouses can only ship to certain places, and stock can be split across warehouses. So it gets quite complicated, but everything has been set up. I mean, there's like 2,000 plus integration tests in here, and it takes like 6 or 7 minutes to run. But I have tried to get this as best as I can get it. in the short time I've been doing it. So let's just say I have an order with multiple orders. I can split them into multiple shipments. In the fulfillment, I would create multiple different shipments that might come from different warehouses, and then I can put different tracking on different shipments. Again, all the notifications trigger off this. You can hook into any part of this, which we'll go through at the end. Payments, again, are hooked into the payment providers. And we've obviously can record a manual payment if you get a bank transfer or whatever else. Each order obviously has a cool history and a timeline in most things. If I go into orders, let's see if there's any of these in there. It's not on there at the minute. Maybe here. There we go. So this is a more complex one where it has two orders on one invoice, which means they're coming from different warehouses using different shipping. Then it's also got discounts. Now this is all auto applied. All of the, like I said, the seed data uses all the notifications, uses all the same services as the front end, so everything's auto triggered based on notifications. So obviously this has triggered the discounts. So all I did it in there, and then obviously you've got a timeline of everything that's coming in. You can add these yourself. You could add a timeline, but every time something changes, most of the stuff goes in there. We can have a quick look at the orders from this lady. She is actually already in two segments, so VIP and high spenders. High spenders is automatic, VIP is a manual. We'll go to that in a second. Obviously, you can direct edit in here like you can in Shopify. Quick on here. Obviously, you can cancel the invoice, etc. Underneath orders, we have outstanding because some customers you can set customers. So this is Sophie, and she is an account customer, so I can set the days, 60 days, and I can actually set a credit limit, and it will flag and put things up when you get near that. In the outstanding, it's just a quick way to see what's due, overdue, due soon, and obviously you can do it not just for account customers. Abandoned checkouts, that's all integrated, including with the notifications to trigger emails, which we'll quickly show you in a second. Obviously nothing working here. This is a fresh install. Let's go through it. Again, I'm whizzing through this. I will try and do more in-depth videos. The point of this is just to show as much as I can for people so that they can maybe ask questions or clarify things or whatever. Products, again, you can have singular products, variants, which you should. So, for example, this poster has some options, which is generated variants. So what we've also got is we can create add-ons. So we can create actual add-ons that don't generate variants, because you might have things like packaging or gift wrapping and things like that. You don't want to create a variant from that. So that's already there. You can create different variants, different option values, and different option values can have different displays. So obviously, if I had this as an image and I click this, you would have an image to select from the Umbraco media, which means the front end can obviously have really cool mix of options and things. Again, this will be shown in another video. I'm trying to whiz through this, but obviously you can, every time you come down here, you can create many different variants, Cartesian algorithm that just obviously creates the variants based off the options. So let's just go from here. So if I was to come down here, it's just, you've got tax groups. This is the manual tax groups. There is tax group provider. That's just something generic out of the way. Obviously you would have different tax groups for different types of products. Views. So products are, like I said, opinionated. So they are using a content finder, and they render. So we look in specific places. Again, this is all documented, but in the views products, it looks for a default, which I've got at the minute. That's what it looks for by default. Obviously, you don't have to set it because it will look for a default one anyway. Element type, I can create Umbraco content, so I can save this on here if I wanted to. There you go. So it's obviously put Umbraco content on there. I've created a multi-text string, so I can use that. So you can update, you can obviously add stuff to this product and do whatever you want to do with. Digital, obviously some other things. If you have a digital product, things disappear because it hasn't got warehouses to ship from. Product types are just categorizations we'll go through. You can choose collections, and this is just the shopping categories for Bing, Google, whatever. This is where you set warehouses, because a product can be available from many warehouses, and obviously each warehouse can dictate which country or countries can still ship to the same country. It's very complex if you want to make it complex, or it can be very simple if you want it to be simple. Media, again, is just from the media. The tip tap editor is actually created on startup, so this is actually a data type. that's created in this, so you can update it, you can add the buttons to it, you can use block lists in there, do whatever you want to do. If I go to the shipping, now the shipping here, the package configurations are just for usually just for the like FedEx, UPS providers if you want to have them. So obviously a product could be shipped in many boxes. This is just how you can do it, so you can make sure it's correct for the calculations. This is for the manual shipping rates provider, which is kind of what most people use unless they go real dynamic, where you can just exclude specific things, specific products. Has some SEO features out of the box with a little preview, nothing fancy. Variants are generated from those three options I showed you. This has got the A1, A4, A2, A3. You can select the default one, the one that will show on the front by default. You can also batch update variants. So I can choose, actually, I want to do the SKU and the price, and then continue, and it will give me a batch update UI to do it all. Done the options. Okay, go back. This is a singular product. So if it's a singular product, no options, it actually all shows on one page. So there's no jumping through views or like going to different UIs, like having like a sub product or a singular product. Right. And you've obviously got filtering you can add and do all that kind of stuff. Upsells is really cool. I don't want to go too much into this in this video because it's too complicated, but you can do some really cool things throughout the front end of the site, all done via controller API. So it will pull in, things like you can put in messages in the basket. You can do interstitial, however you say it, where it appears before the checkout and tries to prompt people to buy. It's really cool. You can do loads of cool stuff with it. You can customize the UI because the checkout can also be customized as well to colors. I'm not going to go too much. We'll do that in another video. So we've got a few here. You can see the different types. And then also another cool thing is the performance. You can start seeing when it's been used. So customers are created regardless if there's an order. They're based on the billing email address and a name. That's it. So if they create sorry, that's just the orders, which we'll go through. If they create an account, that gets linked to an Umbraco member via this. So I can link them to an Umbraco member, and that's how the link to the login goes if they've got an account, and we can pull out their details. The lost my train of thought. Yeah, that's just how that works. And these are just some options you can do to use them for whatever you want to use them for. And then obviously you can make an account customer if you want to. You can put tags actually and pull customers through from specific tags. We then have segments where we can create custom segments, either automated or manual. This is manual, so you pick some customers, called it VIP. This is high spenders, which is a rule based. You can do many conditions and create customers in different for different criteria to fit into your segment. And obviously this can be used in discounts and other places. Collections is just it's like categories, and it's how you link the how you will link them to a content item. So how you will link a collection to a content item, exactly like you did in Marcello. For example, we have lots of what am I doing here? Sorry, no, I'm going to the wrong thing, aren't I? No, I'm not. Let's go content tab. Let's do this here. Property editor. So Marcello, we have collection pickers, filter group pickers, all these different things already built in, so you can pick them and put them on the content. So let's go back. Filters are the way to filter things on the variants or on the product if you're a single product. So in the categories, you can select, only display black, small products or whatever. And also you can create different groups, colors. They've got image and color pickers for filters. Product types are just for categorizing products into groups, again, used in discount rules and other things within the site. Product feeds are not done yet. Analytics is just pretty basic analytics in a minute. I'm not sure what we're going to do with that in a minute, whether we'd make it a bit more customizable. That's just down the line. Discounts, again, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but really cool. Again, you can do lots of different things, very similar to Shopify, very powerful. You can do lots of rules, applies to requirements. You can do lots of eligibility stuff, like who does it, like you say, here is where the segments would go. Combinations, you can run it on a schedule and you can see how often it's been used, etc., etc., etc. Suppliers, now suppliers are like the highest level, or the lowest level, whichever way you look at it. So suppliers can have many warehouses, and many warehouses dictate where things ship to. So we have two here, and also we have fulfillment providers. This is where you can choose a fulfillment provider for a supplier. So, for example, we have a built-in one that comes with it, but also we do ShipBob, and there will be like 5 others that are common ones. So you can do, automated fulfillment. Again, backwards and forwards. Again, that's something that I need help testing. I don't have a ShipBob account, but it's just something I'm going to have to try and get one and figure out if I know anyone that's got one. Now, warehouses is where it gets more complicated. Again, this can be as simple as complex as you like. So let's just go into the EU. So this EU distribution hub services these regions only. You can include and exclude down to a state level or county level or region level, however you want to say it. So I could say I want to exclude Northern Ireland from this, but keep England, Scotland, Wales. And then from this, you have shipping options. So we create shipping options for the flat rate, styling problems, as you can see. And these are all available to the products that are in this warehouse. And then you can have overrides where you can decide which ones, as you saw before, aren't available to it. And even more so, you can go even more granular where you can set exclude destinations from this specifically here, but also I can do pricing where I can actually say each area will have different pricing based on this one. So I don't know, France and Spain could have differently. And then you do weight charges. For example, if there's another product, obviously the shipping might go up if you've got 5 products. And again, there's a post called postcode, but is postcode, zip code, it's whatever. It actually runs Australia and other places. So that's probably the wrong name. But you can exclude ranges or include ranges where, okay, perfect example, Northern Ireland, I might say, I get the Northern Ireland postcode range like BT10 to BT30. I want to add a £30 carriage charge or something. This is all the manual one, and this just shows which products are in this warehouse. Emails are really cool. Again, they fire off all the notifications. So, for example, I want to go on the invoice created. I can select a template, this is from the example site. These are all, again, the templates are Razor based. They're just Razor views using the MJML markup to generate the email. It's all helpers are built in. It's super easy to make the emails, and you've got tokens to pull out data, and you've got autocomplete here. Because I've picked this notification, then if I come in here and I can actually choose which, so email, this will be to the billing address, email address, and the subject, I'll just say order, order, number, and I can say invoice number, and then let's just call it order number. Let's go advanced, from, so store email, because I want it to come from my store email. And then you've got attachments as well you can make. These are programmatic, very quite easy to make. I've got a PDF one with helpers, so you can do tons of different PDFs. So if I click this because I want that to attach to it, these are all the tokens available that you can pull out in the emails shown on each individual notification. So if I create this here, that's created. Now I can actually preview it. There you go. So that is literally what the user will get. An attachment obviously would be the PDF attachment. Now, providers is all the different providers. We have payments, shipments, tax, address lookups for the checkout, exchange rate. You probably wouldn't change that because it works great. This is for the multi-currency. Then you've got fulfillment. We've got a direct supplier. This is what I was saying. It allows you to do FTP or direct email suppliers, like a simple kind of fulfillment if you need to. Payments, we obviously have WorldPay, Stripe, PayPal, Braintree. We have a manual one out the box, which is basically a purchase order. And you can do, and each one of them comes with full details. So if you go to WorldPay, it has all the details about how to get it out with test card numbers. And actually inside the UI, which I can't show you now, again, I'll do it later on, there is a test UI like this for each of those where you can actually test the session works. And you can test your form to make sure your details and everything's correct. Webhooks, nothing there yet, but obviously you can create webhooks. It will see everything about your webhooks in here. Notifications is how everything kind of works, really. You can see all the available points for you to extend, all the internal hooks that are already. So these are all like published notifications, and you can see the ones where we're handling them already for the emails and the email systems. And it's just a visual way to see what there is and what's handling it, and also the priority, which is going to fire in what order. Right. That is a very, very quick thing. It's like almost 20 minutes. I tried to do this once. My headphones failed. Let's see if this one's worked. open to any questions, by all means. Thanks.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.